Alright, Simo here from Investment Research, locking in on Nvidia, ticker NVDA, for the week of October 13, 2025. We're dissecting the immediate market dynamics, critical technicals, and what's on the horizon for this semiconductor giant in the coming days. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about Nvidia. I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause some volatility in the stock price, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. Starting off with the broader market context, this week is absolutely dominated by two major themes that could heavily influence tech, especially a growth leader like Nvidia. First, the ongoing debate around a potential government shutdown is creating significant uncertainty. Any concrete steps toward a shutdown could weigh on market sentiment, leading to a risk-off environment where high multiple stocks like NVDA often see disproportionate selling. Conversely, a resolution could spark a relief rally. Secondly, we have those crucial CPI and PPI inflation prints midweek. If inflation comes in hotter than expected, it could reignite fears of further restrictive monetary policy from the Fed, pushing bond yields higher and making growth stocks less attractive. A cooler print, however, could be a significant tailwind for the entire tech sector. Beyond those macro drivers, the Q3 2025 earnings season is in full swing with major tech and financial players reporting. Strong results from other large cap tech companies, particularly those within the AI or data center ecosystems, could provide positive read-through for Nvidia. Conversely, any disappointments could drag down the entire sector, so we'll be watching those reports closely. Now, specific to Nvidia, there isn't any major scheduled corporate event for this upcoming week. However, the market is buzzing with speculation around potential announcements at the upcoming GTC 2026 conference, which is still some months out, but whose preliminary marketing has already begun. The latest updates we've picked up, perhaps from industry whispers and patent filings, suggest Nvidia is preparing to unveil significant advancements in quantum computing integration with their AI platforms or a new generation of low-power edge AI chips. While not confirmed for this week, any credible leaks or strong analyst commentary hinting at revolutionary new products could easily move the stock. The market is always looking for the next leg of growth beyond the current data center cycle. Some people in my comments have mentioned that the AI boom is already priced into Nvidia, and I do tend to partially agree. Nvidia has seen an extraordinary run. However, if they put out news that suggests a truly new, untapped market opportunity, like making AI accessible and energy efficient at the true edge of the network or a breakthrough in quantum AI, that's going to cause significant FOMO. That would get analysts rushing to adjust their models, and those revised price targets could certainly push Nvidia higher. The stock might have priced in the current AI lead, but a new paradigm shift in AI hardware would unlock another growth phase. Let's dive into the technicals for this week. Roughly 1.2% of the free float is being shorted, which works out to about 30 million shares. This is a relatively low short interest, reflecting strong conviction in NVDA. Shorts haven't been aggressively adding, even during broader market jitters. The cost to borrow is also quite low, around 0.3% annually, so the lack of significant shorting activity, despite the high valuation, suggests a prevailing bullish sentiment among the smart money. This indicates that any recent dips were more likely profit-taking or macro-driven rather than fundamental weakness. Looking at the options chain for this upcoming week, the bull consensus appears to be targeting the $980 to $1,000 range. Bears, on the other hand, are anticipating it to stay below 950, perhaps around the 930 to 940 area. Definitely, a bias toward upside is anticipated by the options market, which makes sense given Nvidia's track record and perceived leadership. A couple of key points to watch for. Nvidia closed Friday at $962.50. It's currently sitting just above a crucial pivot point at $959. We absolutely need to see it hold above that on Monday. Next strong targets and resistance levels are $978 and then that psychological $1,000 mark. On the flip side, key support levels are at $935 and then $918 If you're looking to dollar cost average or add to positions, those support levels would be zones of interest. One thing to note, we are still some weeks out from Nvidia's next official earnings report for Q3 2025, likely in early November, but that doesn't mean analysts are quiet. We could see pre-earnings analyst notes, particularly from firms tracking supply chain data or enterprise AI spending trends. Any such notes, positive or negative, could certainly create intraday volatility. Don't be surprised if some analysts, perhaps from firms less bullish on the current valuation, issue more cautious ratings that could try to disrupt Nvidia's upward momentum. On Friday, it did close slightly below its 5-day moving average, showing a very minor cooling of immediate momentum. However, looking at the market position, there's still a robust base of willing buyers extending down to around 940 more, which is right near its 20-day exponential moving average. If there's any broad market fear selling on Monday and it dips, that 940 to 935 zone should act as strong support. If it breaks below that, however, then things could get more concerning, potentially revisiting the 918 level. Let me know your viewpoint on that. Based on the flow, Friday's minor pullback felt more like technical profit taking and broad market rebalancing rather than a fundamental shift. When I talk about where volume comes from, I always prefer conviction-based institutional trading over algorithmic noise. Aside from the macro elements, there isn't much major or specific Nvidia news expected this week. At the end of the day, I do feel we'll be very volatile, driven by macro data and tech earnings, but most likely we'll be looking to consolidate or test resistance. I don't realistically see a break of its all-time highs this week, but consolidation or a healthy retest of key levels is normal. Given the broader market concerns about valuations and potential economic slowdowns, a period of digestion for Nvidia, even if it's trending higher, is healthy for the technicals. Let me know your thoughts on that and where you see things going. Throw your price prediction in the comments below.